Surah al-Kahf in the Holy Quran tells us about many significant events. Today, as we begin the series on Surah al-Kahf, we will discuss one of these stories. These stories remind us of the miracles of Allah Almighty and His supreme power. Indeed, the entire Quran and the whole universe remind us of Allah's greatness if we reflect. There is not a single thing in this world completely controlled by humans. The purpose of creating this channel is solely to encourage us to reflect on the teachings of our faith and see what miracles are mentioned in the Quran, which was revealed to our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, 1,400 years ago. For instance, in Surah al-Kahf, Allah Almighty says, Surah al-Kahf, verse 1. All praise is for Allah who has revealed the book to His servant, allowing no crookedness in it. Surah al-Kahf, verse 2. Making it perfectly upright, to warn the disbelievers of a severe torment from Him, to give good news to the believers who do good, that they will have a fine reward. In this series we will explore Surah al-Kahf. We will discuss these events and use Quranic references to prove that even science is compelled to bow before Allah's commands. The first story is of the people of the cave, Ashab al-Kahf, who fled from the tyranny of King Decius, a Roman ruler, and took refuge in a cave. There is no agreed-upon location for this cave. Some say it is in Turkey, where a Roman king built a church over it, while others believe it is in Egypt, and some even suggest it is in Jordan. Only Allah knows the truth, as He says in Surah al-Kahf, verse 22. Some will say, they were 3, their dog was the 4th, while others will say, they were 5, their dog was the 6th, only guessing blindly. And others will say, they were 7 and their dog was the 8th. Say, O Prophet, my Lord knows best their exact number. Only a few people know as well. So do not argue about them except with sure knowledge, nor consult any of those who debate about them. We cannot say for sure how many there were, but we know that they were believers upon whom Allah bestowed His special mercy. When they took refuge in the cave out of fear of the king, Allah covered their ears, putting them into a deep sleep. This is mentioned in Surah al-Kahf, verse 11. So we caused them to fall into a dead sleep in the cave for many years. According to Surah al-Kahf, verse 25, they had remained in their cave for 300 years, adding 9. This means they slept for 309 years. From a scientific perspective, many theories suggest how humans might be put into long-duration sleep, especially for space travel to distant planets. 1960s, the pioneer of cryogenic sleep, Robert Ettinger. Robert Ettinger, often referred to as the father of cryonics, set the stage for cryogenic sleep experiments in the 1960s. His vision was bold. Preserve patients using liquid nitrogen after they were legally declared dead, with the hope that future advancements in science would allow for their revival. In 1967, the first human preservation took place with Dr. James Bedford, marking a significant milestone in cryonics. However, despite over 50 years of research by organizations like the Alcor Life Extension Foundation, no human preserved this way has been revived. The process remains theoretical due to challenges such as cell damage and ice crystal formation. Research continues, but the dream of cryonic revival is still just that, dreaming. 2005, the leap into suspended animation. Dr. Mark Roth. In 2005, Dr. Mark Roth took a different approach by exploring suspended animation in mice, with implications for extending survival in extreme conditions like surgery or space travel. Using hydrogen sulfide gas, Dr. Roth was able to slow down the metabolic processes of the mice, effectively putting them into a state of suspended animation. The results were promising, with improved survival rates. While this experiment opened doors for potential human applications, human trials remain experimental, and the road to applying suspended animation to people is still in the early stages. 2018, hibernation-like states. Dr. Matteo Cherry and team. In 2018, Dr. Matteo Cherry and his team pushed the boundaries further by inducing a hibernation-like state in rodents. Through chemical induction, they successfully lowered the animal's body temperature and metabolic rate, simulating a prolonged sleep akin to hibernation. This experiment provided groundbreaking insights into the possibility of entering hibernation-like states to enhance survival during periods of metabolic stress. Although human trials are still pending, the experiment shows potential for future applications, particularly in space travel, where long-duration sleep could be a game-changer. Imagine, humans have learned to fly using airplanes, helicopters, and jetpacks, but have not yet reached the level of divine knowledge displayed by the miracle mentioned in the Quran revealed 1,400 years ago. No matter how much humans advance, there are still many areas of knowledge that remain unknown to us, and we can't say much about them. So, before we end this video, let's take a moment to pray that may Allah increase all of our knowledge, guide us to walk on the right path, and keep us away from all those things that may cause His displeasure. Ameen.